buddy. It's taking me longer and longer to get onto the stage. I mean, that says something very sad and very poignant, which I hope will be written in my tombstone. He was too old to get on the stage. Now tonight I'm just depressed, but I think it's because it's February. I'm not going to talk about it. It could be the Trump thing, but I'm not going to say that's the last time I say that word. But I decided that tonight I was going to tell you, hopefully you're here. So do you clap? Clap one more time, because that's what I live on. It's why I have these busy nights, is that people will come and clap for me. Oh my God, I feel so much better already. Okay, so I wanted to tell you about the movie that I saw. So when I'm in Hamilton, which happens sometimes, I don't even want to tell you why, but in Hamilton, Ontario, and there's nothing to do for me except to think and write and argue with somebody who we won't mention. So what I do is I go to the movies. Now they only have one theater downtown Hamilton, and it's called Jackson Square. It used to be a wonderful place to go to Jackson Square and do the masturbations. Oh yes, David Haw. Does anybody remember David Haw? Yeah, he used to take my picture. We had to stop because at a certain point he did a photo. Oh, get into trouble with this. He did a photo of me that was so perfect that I looked like a beautiful space alien. And I said to him, we can't have this picture. And you know what he said to me? You don't want to know what you really look like. That's what he said to me. Do you want me to put a picture of you out like the way you look? No, oh my God. Anyway, but David used to come from Hamilton, and he told me about how that Jackson, sorry, a little bit depressed today. The Jackson Square, they used to go down and masturbate in the washrooms down there. Anyway, so there I am in the movie. And there's nobody's there, but they had these gigantic reclinable seats. You know what it is now? Because they're trying to get people to go to the movies, because everyone's staying at home and doing that. But anyway, they don't go to the movies no more. So anyway, there I am, probably all alone. And I read about this movie beforehand, and it said that this was called Brave the Dark. Brave the Dark. I'm trying to say it in the English. It's hard for me because I can't say the T. But Brave the Dark. Okay, so it's about that. So that's what it was called. I look it up. It looked kind of interesting. It said the story about a young man or boy who has difficulties. I thought, oh, young man or boy who has difficulties. I could get into that. So anyway, and then I think somewhere I was reading in your Rotten Tomatoes or something, but don't trust the Rotten Tomatoes. Don't trust them. If they say it's bad, it's good. Like, it's just the opposite of what they say, right? So anyway, but this one, it got sort of medium on Rotten Tomatoes, so I'm not sure. But then there was something somewhere, the word, are you ready? Are you sitting down? The word Christian came in somewhere in the description of the movie. Because you know they're making the Christian movies now. Now, hope I don't offend any Christians here. Actually, I'm very pleased to offend you if you're here, but number one, and I doubt you're here anyway. But anyway, so it was Christian movie. So I thought, okay, young man, Christian movie. We'll see what happens, eh? So I'm sitting down, and it opens up, and he's running. Oh no, first I must just describe him. So his name is Hamilton, is his last name. What's his first name? I want to say Josh, but anyway, his last name is Hamilton, so you can Google him. Hamilton, Brave the Dark. And he's running. He's a young man. He's maybe 16, I don't know, legal probably. The actor's probably 18, so I can talk about him, but how incredibly hot he was. But anyway, he was playing teenager. And he's running on the track, and he's red hair, and he's now very interesting body this actor had. It was because anyway, so he's running. I noticed it was interesting, but then later even more so. And then he's raising his arms and hot afterwards, and I see his armpit hair. I'm sorry, this is so upsetting, but I am physically romantic, not romantic. I'm attracted to armpit hair. Okay, is anybody else attracted to armpit hair? Oh, come on! There we go, Elley. I knew there was somebody. Animals. Thank God. Anyway, so when he lifted up his arms, I actually run at the beginning of the movie. I'm like, oh my God, armpit hair, I'm all there. Then there was that scene. Then there was another scene, and he ends up in a shower. Yeah, a shower. And he's naked down to here, because they don't show the other part, but you can see the treasure trail. Do you know what a treasure trail is? It's a little bit of hair that leads to all the treasure. So you can see that in the water's running all down him. You know, and it's very sexuality. So I'm going, what is this Christian movie? And why am I getting so sexually excited? So then it turns out that, and then you get to see his body, and it was very long, but very muscular, very, very beautiful. Yeah. So then I go, then the next thing, we get complication. The young man is in high school, and he robs. He's in with the wrong crowd. He robs a video store. Right? Fine, okay, he's in trouble. So then appears the teacher. Now the teacher is an older man. He's not very attractive by my standard. He's sort of a little bit portly, and he has sort of looks like slightly dyed blonde hair. And he's very nice man, very gentle. He has his own little house where he lives alone, interestingly enough. And he has a black woman who is his friend, who's not his wife, but who's there, and they laugh together. And yeah, so he befriends the young man, and he helps him have a better, grow, change, not rob the stores, right? But let me just describe to you this older man. He is not only has the dyed blonde hair, he's a little bit portly and very nice. And they don't say he Christian, but that's the idea. He Christian, this guy, because he's so nice, And he helps the boy, and he likes musicals. And he directs, you'll identify with this, he directs the musicals at the high school, and he watches old movies, and I'm going, uh-oh. The teacher who directs the musicals, and he loves the old movies, and he's got the dyed blonde hair, and yeah, like, this guy's a fucking homosexual, right? Like, come on, like, and if it just may be written in code, but that's what's going on, right? So he befriends him, and they're together, and they have Christmas together. He moves into his house, and he gives him a lovely present for Christmas. The old man is in the pajamas, and the boy is not, and I'm in his clothes, and I'm going, oh, this is all so strange, I can't handle it. And then, all I can remember after that is that the boy got better and wasn't robbing nothing, no more. And he owed it all to this wonderful Christian man who was, according to this movie, us watching it, simply kind and Christian, or not a homosexual. So my problem is it was a subtextually homosexual movie. Do you understand what I'm saying? At the end, get this. At the end, it's like a pseudo-documentary. It was not a documentary, it was fiction. But at the end of the movie, they have the real man come on stage, come in the movie, and it's like the real older man, and he comes on with the boy, and they have pictures of him and the boy is very attractive too. And then they have him and the boy, and he's saying to us, the audience, go and buy a ticket. This is what the Christian movies do, apparently. Be kind to your friend. Go and buy a ticket to this movie because we spread the word of kindness or something like that. Yeah. Write for your young, handsome friend with the red armpit hair. That's who you should write for. So anyway, I just want you to know about the Christian movie. Don't you think it's kind of funny? I mean, my whole thing about it is that I wouldn't mind if it was about, an older man or a younger man who had forced a relationship consensual. Maybe it's not, maybe it's controversial, I don't know. But, and he's the teacher. Or he's just out and gay and they don't have the sex, maybe. And he's a gay, but he doesn't love him somehow. And they're friends. I'm all for that, But it's like, no, that whole thing was not mentioned. Yet I knew this man. So anyway. It talks about how sometimes we are silenced and nobody hears us screaming. Oh my God, I can't believe I said that. No one hears us screaming. Ah! Okay, so you all heard me screaming. Okay, so that came out, even though I'm totally depressed. Maybe because I actually go see movies like that in Hamilton. That explains my depression. Okay, so I will now welcome the first guest for the Spizzy show tonight. She is someone who is unbelievably amazing, a creature, a strange, enormously talented creature, who I don't even understand myself, who I'm slightly frightened of, but always in awe of. And she's going to perform for you first. Will you please welcome Miss Elley Hennessy?
Oh. Lay down, you.
You made it.
I know you did. I'm gonna crawl up here. How about that? I left up here by myself.
Here.
Hi, everybody. Hi, greetings. Good evening. Here we are. Thanks, Spizzy.
You're back.
Wow, that was awesome. I don't even know what that Christian movie was all about. I'll be missing it, I think. Hi, gang. How are we all? You're all looking festive on this very snowy February night. Come out to support the arts.
Yeah.
Is that what you were? I love the arts. We're going to be getting more into that in just a little bit.
Yeah.
So, I know you're going to ask me some questions, and it's like, let's do something. And I thought, we've got a little show coming up. I was going to do something else. I couldn't figure out what to do. And I thought I'd do a little read from something we haven't actually gotten to. Our director for the show, Witness for the Persecution, is here, Ed Roy, and Sky Gilbert, who isn't here right now, but he's wrote it, but he's a very dear friend of mine, and we haven't gotten to this part in the show, but it's it's based on Witness for the Prosecution with Marlene Dietrich, and I'm playing, believe it or not, Marlene Dietrich, and a slew of kind of other characters in the show. So I thought I'd do a little read from maybe one of the other little characters in the show, because there's accents akimbo tonight. So be careful if my accent starts to taking right, left turns. I trust you that you're going to help me out, all right? This character is an old woman from Witness Persecution. Yeah, I've come to you, sir, because I carry much hatred. I carry much hatred in my kind old heart for Mr. Jerry Kelly. He was unfaithful to me for the whole time we was married, and I never once had a chance to get back at him, no. After 20 years, I was long suffering. I was his wife. Yeah, until the boozing and the womanizing it, finally put him in an early grave. Jerry Kelly. I won't say that he didn't deserve it, he deserved it. Yeah. When I married him, wow. I didn't know what was going on because I wasn't innocent. I was innocent, Yeah, it wasn't until 10 years later I found out about your mother. There are all these letters. All these letters, they're all about you. Yeah, they can. You want to hear them? Yeah, you want to hear the letters? Okay. You want to hear what your loving mother, she had to say about you to Jerry? Alright, well, I'll give you a sample. You want to hear a sample? Alright, to ease yourself in. Now listen, brace yourself, it ain't pretty. Now, let's see. Here's Jerry writing to your mother. I wish we could kill that son of yours. Kill him. If only we could get rid of him, we could be together forever. Oh, and here's where it gets really sweet and touching. Oh, so touching, it almost makes me want to cry. Every night, when I kiss you so tenderly, when we're listening to those Frank Sinatra records in the living room, that silly son of yours, he comes in and he interrupts us. Oh! And I just want to place my hands around that little faggot's neck and strangle him to death. Strangle you to death. You old hypocrite. Faggot? Oh, as if he wouldn't have put his you-know-what wherever of anything that he had a chance. He was, the cock of the walk, All that one was, he was cheating on your mother the whole time with other women. Oh yeah, you know, at the same time he was cheating on me. He was a cheater. He was a cheater. Cheater. And a liar. He was a liar. From the get-go. I mean, there's no redeeming him. You'd like to hear what your mother's response was? Huh? Yeah. Oh, let's see. Oh, yeah, oh. Okay. So your dear mother writes, yes, darling. I wish I could kill him too, the prissy little fuck. She had your number. That's for sure. When I hear him playing his cello, you play the cello? Upstairs, she says. I want to rush up there and hit him over the head with his own instrument and shove that bow he uses to play the dying swan down his throat until he gags on it. Oh, then he could truly be the little cocksucker he was always meant to be.
Wait a minute.
She knew what you was. She knew what you was. A little cocksucker. And she hasn't want any of that. None of it. She hated you. She hated you. Hated you. Your mother. She wanted you to do yourself in. She wanted you to herself to do you in, and she blamed you for running and ruining around her relationship with Jerry. Running, what the fuck am I saying anyway? Ruining her relationship with Jerry. You drove him away? You know what I think? Jerry hadn't died in such an untimely manner. That is, you know, at such a young age from the booze and that. She probably would have done it. She would have done it, right? What? What? What do you think of that? My little prince. Cocksucker. That's fine. It's a nice little party for you, right? Oh, a real gentle little character there. Nice, Spizzy.
Hello. Very dark.
Yes.
Oh, well.
So,
We're going to talk later about this Guy Gilbert person. Oh, there I am. We're going to talk later about this Guy Gilbert person who's not me, but who I know very... He's not me, but I know him. Yes, I know him very well. So, this is what I can always learn more. I want to hear about you, first of all. So I want to...
find yourselves comfortably seated.
Okay.
Just so we can adjust.
So,
Did you say adjust?
yeah, just.
No, do it slowly. Give us a second. It's okay.
So this... I will wait till
Yeah, just wait. And just own the space. Do you want to sit down? You don't have to.
Good. Sure, why
You
do
don't have to.
I want
I
to.
just want to put this where you both at me.
Oh, that's much better. Oh, it's right near my room. That's good.
Right?
Yeah.
There we go. Thank you so much. So my question is, Elley, Hennessy, you are a creature who does many things. Can you tell me what it is that you... Because I know you're actress, you director, you run theater company, you ran a theater company. I know that you are a voice performer. I know that you are a teacher. And I know you are award-winning and you have an honorary doctor, no, MA or whatever, doctor, from University Windsor. Oh my goodness. It's not hard to believe at all. So tell me a little bit about what it is how would you define who you are and what you do? You're a Renaissance woman.
Yes. Exactly. You said it all. It's like I do what I do. I want to ignite, excite, uplift, charm, and heal audiences. That's sort of my raison d'etre. And since the get-go, I think, there's, we long to sit around fires, singing, dancing, sharing fable, and we've lost it. We've I've watched over 50 years us kind of lose that integrity of coming together like this in real person and reaching out and celebrating story. And I think inside of me is an arch, wild child, wild beast, wild entity, AI, nonplussed vampire, werewolf, all kinds of those, ugly things as well. I think inside of me I carry a vast, infinite magic. I was gifted, thank you. Early, very, very early on coming in, I think that that was to charm, to take somebody's breath away. I think we all we all sit together and we want to hold on so tight and lose breath together, whether it's sexually, intellectually, emotionally, mentally, physically, doesn't really matter. Our jobs are to feel something and just breathe in, to inspire to breathe in.
I think it's amazing that when I ask you that question, you immediately go to the situation of being here and into a room with other people and looking at them, and charming them or making the magic or whatever it is that we try our best to do. And I think it's very interesting because that's very much my best in doing this. Even this is going on the line and on the digital, and people will be seeing it on the digital. For me, it is about the fact that I'm doing it with these people in this room, and that people need these experiences in the room with the people making the magic.
Yes.
Or trying even to make magic, because that's what we do.
I mean, the only reason we open our mouths to speak in ever is an audience. So we find ourselves consistently alone. Right now, there's devices. There's, we go in. Since COVID, it's gotten even wilder. I do everything online. I audition online. I record online. I do things in studios with nobody there that are directing me online. It has gotten like where you no longer need real people there. And the wonderful thing about storytelling in theater is that I tell all my students, the only reason you're here is for this relationship where you are the greatest character in every show, the audience. You are responsible for every show. And I consider myself an audience in the world more than anything else. And my hope is that I can hear my world ask me questions as I'm communicating so that I don't get didactic, institutionalized, and read well or performative, or that you actually sort of tiptoe outside of that. And the only place you can really do that, in my opinion, is in person.
And even when I did my little monologue there, for me it was about looking at everybody out there as I'm doing it, and the lights were on you, and I'm thinking, it's really scary. What are they thinking? How are they reacting? Do they like this at all? Am I offending people? I'm being too homosexual, not homosexual enough. What's going on? Right? And I think that that's part of what people don't understand, that an audience for us is not like a movie even. The audience is there, and even if we can't see them, we can feel them. For sure we can feel them. Now tell me a little bit, because you told me there's a story that you told me once about New York, and you almost went to somewhere big. And then you decided to stay in Canada. And since everyone's talking about us being the 51st state, or a horrible, fat, horrible baby madness, can you tell me what happened there? Right?
Yeah, there's a whole thing about, Sky Gilbert, your friend, that sort of, I would say many, many, many moons ago, we're talking about the 70s at this point in time, that I was actually catapulted from fighting the institution. I was, called retarded as a child.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Why? Because you're weird.
Because I didn't kind of fit into, and I didn't obey the rules. So I would like, I had to be
Right.
put in a harness. And
We know that.
Ritalin, and I was beaten and sexually
Oh, my
abused because I was
God.
just living in a different area.
Oh, my
I was in a
God.
different open doorway for myself. My point being is that you live in a place where if you don't, your frame of reference doesn't try to match what our institutionalized training says. Sit down, be quiet, raise your hand to speak, obey the kind of this, and yet you've got a wild bucking horse that longs to be free from it. You can't understand what's going on, and much to the chagrin of my family, because I would escape. I was the escape artist. I was Houdini. I would jump out the window at 3 years old in the middle of the night and be gone. And they'd be like, the child is, what the hell? They'd hear the front door at 4 in the morning, and my mom would go, was that the door? And it was thus the harness for later. But I'd be on my tricycle. I don't know where I was going. I just had things to do. I'd have suppose in my mind. But you've got this, there's no rigidity in structure when you're explorative. And I
So
think-
when you have to, no, go ahead.
I'm
finish.
getting there. I know it's
New York. I did
I
ask
know.
a question
It's getting
New
there
York.
about the New York thing. I'm
Okay,
getting
okay,
there.
okay.
But it's so the traveling, it's sort of like I am everywhere and nowhere at the same time since birth. So it's like I already am not where everybody thinks we are. Like we think we're at the Imperial Pub right now. Are we really? But are we really? Are we really at the Imperial Pub? And I, that kind of journeying for me was slammed. It was shut down, medicated, destroyed, kind of tried to. I didn't. I maintained it, and then I went on after being retarded, skipping 2 grades in grade 2 forward, and then in grade 6, skipping 2 grades forward, and then arriving at university. And they said, you and Stephen Woodmat are ahead of your time, so we're going to make you a teacher's assistant. We can't teach you anything. And I'm like, what? And then they said, but you'll never do voice and you'll never do film and television because you're too tall, you're too angular, you're too flat-chested, you're too big, you're too weird, your voices, you've had 4 rhinoplasties. It went on and on. You're wet, you're plosive, you're dry, whatever. And long story short, I've done.
No, you sort of answered it, but what happened to New York and the school
But
you didn't
it
go
wasn't-
to?
it
You
was-
got accepted into what school in New York?
Well, no, I got accepted into Brandeis University, the big art school. What's it called?
Yeah, that's what they thought. And you decided to go to Canada to
What's it
Windsor.
called? Juilliard. Thank you,
Juilliard, that's what that
And the other one was the neighborhood playhouse. So I went to Banff, and I was 17 years old, and they said, "You're coming to the neighborhood playhouse. You're coming to Juilliard. You're coming to."
So why didn't you go there? Then we wouldn't have to deal with Elley Hennessy again. But
Well, I wish at that point that I had a mentor or somebody that could have helped me understand, what in my mind I was like, no, I'm going to the University of Windsor in Canada.
well, good for you, and we got you.
I'm 6 generations Canadian.
And so now you are, I am told, the voice queen of Canada. So what does that mean?
Who told you that?
Oh, everybody says it. What is she? She's a fun. She. If in case she won't tell you, you see animated movie. You're listening to radio. You hear an old witch. You hear a young girl. You hear all this. That's Elley all the time, right? Or a lot of the time, right?
Yeah. I've
And
done it for a long time.
yeah, and you teach the people about the voice,
Yes, I do.
and you do the My Little Pony.
I do the My Little Pony. The My Little Pony has.
And what's the character you play there?
I played many. I
You're
played.
not allowed to tell? Is this a secret?
Oh no, the big ones are because it's now canceled. The show. Yeah, but it went on for 10 years. The one show that I played Mist Main in, and then
Mr. Main?
Mist Main. She's special. She's a very fancy pony.
And then you also play the Vi, not to go old, but didn't you play the Vi the old daily
I
too?
played many old bags.
Okay.
Yes, I played Grandma Piggy, who is Hitch's the hot young male pony's grandmother who brought him up. Yeah,
And didn't you just come back from China where you have fans?
yeah, I did.
Like she's an international star sitting before you. It's all so crazy. Anyway, so now I want to ask you about something very important to me because I've always been very interested in this person called Sky Gilbert. Now I understand you worked with him many times. Can you remember when you first worked with him?
Don't make me remember, please.
Wasn't it a play called The Theater Life?
No, actually, I
thought that's
actually
what it
worked
was.
with this guy before Theater Life.
Oh God, what was that?
In high school, he wrote a play called Love is a Mini Splendid Orange.
It was actually called, he told me, Love is a Mini Splendid Orange. And it was about a woman who was in love with an orange.
It's amazing
Now,
how you know
isn't this
that.
amazing? That Sky Gilbert had not met Miss Elley Hennessy, who he ended up working with over and over. That's what he told me. And what happened was in high school, she somehow found his playlet. It was like 20 minutes long, called Love is a Mini Splendid Orange, all about a woman in love with an orange, and she was in it.
And funnily enough, it was a courtroom drama. She
Yes,
was being,
that's what we're doing.
they had
That's
the
what-
PL Exhibit 1, like she murdered her lover, which was an orange.
That's right.
Oh, yeah. No.
And they brought the peel on the stand and she cried and everything.
Oh, no.
So listen, I want to talk about what you're doing with Sky Gilbert now. It's called Witness for the Persecution, which you read from. You're doing reading, the play, you and Sky Gilbert are doing a reading, directed by Edward Roy, who is going to be the next guest in a few minutes. And it's happening on March 7th, 8th, and 9th, and it's happening at the Red Sandcastle Theatre, which is the smallest theatre in the world, but very intimate.
Intimate.
It's like you could fuck the actors. We're not gonna fuck you, but that's what it feels like. You could just be
Well,
there,
you
you could
could.
touch them and fuck them. That's how close you get. And
You
we're-
want me to tell you? Just said everything.
Sorry. Go ahead. Is there anything? That's one of the problems that Spizzy has, is that he talks a little bit too much for an interviewer. But anyway, so you want to say something about
I mean, guys, I would urge you all to come. It's COME. It's a fabulous camp, the real word camp, which is a combination of comedy and pathos, heightened realities, and absolute realism, where it diminishes. I don't want to give the play away, but for the actors in it, it's and we're just in rehearsals now, playing around with it. It's like such a roller coaster emotionally, because it's meta theatrical. There's so many layers on top of what's going on that I think, and I've done 22 shows with you.
Oh, I don't know. That's scary.
22 or
Could be true.
23, I think. I mean, this might be 24. I have to count. I have to go back and look. But this one is incredibly real for Sky. Sorry, not you, Spizzy.
Yeah,
I mean,
this
you
guy,
kinda
not Spizzy.
you look like him a little bit. It's-
I do a little bit.
It's
I have
weird.
the same fantastic physique. Anyway, go on.
Well, and you asked me how about Sky, and if I may, and it's not too long, but it is. Would you like to hear what I wrote?
Okay, very quickly, deal with it.
Okay. Hilary Latoy,
Up in heaven now, Hillary Latoya.
I hope you're smoking many
DNA theater. He's
cigarettes.
dead now.
He approached me and he said he was writing a book about Sky Gilbert. And he approached me and he said, I want you to write something about Sky Gilbert. And I thought, not you, the Sky Gilbert. And I thought, okay. So would you like
This is what happened. She's gonna do it.
a delinquent iconoclastic genius with a penchant for sex? Theatricality and alternative shadow realms, he breathes life into the unspeakable and dances to an unheard drummer. Sky celebrates the unspoken, the hidden, the grotesque, the mundane, then transforms truths into vibrant spectacle, to jaw-dropping success. Always challenged and severely judged by his critics, who uphold the social norms, the status quo, and unspoken laws of polite society, his irreverence and sheer intellectual strength confound and provoke, shattering the political stunted and awaking the homogeneous sleeping masses with delicious displays of wild abandonment and quirky shows that deftly and that defy the dangerously judgmental while applauding the marginalized. Wonderfully corrupt, tarnished, and dirty, His eloquence with words and display draw people to muse about what is this creature? Like a rare and spectacular beast, one oohs and ahs over at safari, silenced by its peculiar and spectacular oddity. We listen and watch from a distance, spearing and desiring to touch his originality, taste his dangerous creativity, borrow from his eminent achievement, but he is Sky. Lofty, expansive, something I can only look up to. A hero, a villain, a saint, a muse, a provocateur, a king, a commander, a teacher, a scribe, a conjurer, a visionary, a friend. Upon meeting and sharing word with the illustrious heavens, Sky, I was transformed. I was transfixed, transported. I immediately jumped ship and became a Gilbert girl. There was no turning back to that lackluster, vapid, disingenuous world of storytelling I thought I had worked so diligently to uphold. Sky was the limit, so to speak. The untamed, rough and tumble nature of harsh truths clawing to get deeper in. Wickedly demented expressions were unleashed. No boundary was left undiscovered. Tears and sweat, palpitations and raging in the night. What am I? Who am I? What is art? How far am I willing to go to explore seemingly impossible, implausible, unknown terrain? I staggered and stammered amidst the beer and the piss and cigarettes, feeling more alive and inspired than one felt possible. I became known as inspired, stunning, transcendent, a phenomenon, a revelation, megawatt, grand doyen, superstar, to name a few coined adjectives, all thanks to my connection to Sky. No one prepared me for the raw wound of Sky.
Yeah.
He opened in me in 1981, and I wear that theatrical scar like a badge of honor, truth, dedication, and freedom. Many tried to convince me to take another direction, but I had looked the beast in the eye and found its strength and vicious talents provocative. This creature stood apart and howled like a mad dog driven by a full moon. I longed to learn its mysterious and unsettling survival techniques and to travel singularly driven by need and desire to change the landscape, slaughter worn-out traditions, and weave a new frontier. Sky opened my molehill to a vast mountaintop where myself grew wings and fangs, claws and scale. Nothing could or would be the same. The commercials, the movies, the shop festivals, Stratford, all those established bodies of storytelling were mere business ventures, forgettable, completely devoid of unique personality or groundbreaking opinion. I had drunk from the well, and everything else was sand in comparison. That is what I learned from Sky. How to be an eagle, how to overcome fear, ego, preconception, morality, how to see infinite possibilities on the head of a pin. I learned ridiculous. I learned how to celebrate ugly. I learned stillness. I learned how to harness my potential. I learned that there is no right way. I learned to laugh at myself. I learned how to shapeshift. I learned how to provoke, to terrify, and to love an audience. I learned that truth takes courage. I learned how to howl and decode language. I learned how I didn't want to live, what I didn't want to perform, and that settling for mediocrity is in no way informative, groundbreaking, or worth $1,000 a week. A paycheck or review does not define me. Give me the struggle and heart of a team in a dusty basement with everything to prove and nothing to lose, whose source is truth and love, and that's what kind of storyteller I want to be. Sky changed my destiny. I woke up. I looked up, and I saw Sky, unending keeper of stars by night, rainbows by day. He was distracted, crazed OCD, a gay late bloomer whose vodka-swilling craziness and shy social ineptitude led him to so many things, including the alter ego Jane, who could dance so effortlessly in public. And he has many characters that allow him to remain in public. He, and I use the word was as if he is somehow not here. He was a miracle, always on the bad boy shit list, and I had eyes for no one but him. He saw me, he knew me, and we scared each other. We scared each other. We respected and loved each other. Grand, messy, dirty, familial love. You can really get a lot of phenomenal work done with those ingredients. Look up, my friends. Nothing but dear sky.
Elley Hennessy.